What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 56 of my Total Warhammer 3 Ikit Claw Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have successfully completed 2 ambushes and have begun to whittle down the invading forces seeking to take back our territories. The battle against the Karak dwarfs saw them basically destroyed with a small amount of units remaining, but no longer viable, I'm sure, to take anything by themselves. And then the battle against Karak here, with the Metable, saw the entire army and destroyed down to a dwarf, which I'm pretty happy with, especially as Karak unlike Karak has a tier 4 garrison and is probably strong enough with Metable there to defend itself. Now there's a lot more of these to still try to accomplish. We got Cyprus, we got Garth here, then we have Ikit, and then we have Mutin. I don't remember whether Mutin tried last. You know what? We might as well try with Mutin again. I really just want to see his army fight those Giselles and mortars and stuff. It seems like a really fun fight, even though it has no melee at all. Let's give it a try. Come on, ambush. Wait, am I selecting the right army? I think so. And no dice. No dice. Oh well, okay. That's more of your movement away. Let's try somebody else then. How about... Well, we might as well give Cyprus a try. If it's an ambush, it'll still be quite nice. Even with his army quite weak and... Damn, no dice. Alright, back off. You still have movement remaining, so let's switch out to... Garth, I guess. Garth? Your turn. And there we go, somebody finally succeeded at it. And let's see what we're working with here. Now they have 4 artillery pieces, but we do have a lot of these plague claws. So hopefully by focusing on them before they get a chance to fire, we will be able to destroy them. Also, I forgot that Garth has a razor standard, which should have probably gone to a better lord, but whatever. We'll put it in one of the plague monks. Let's get the standards of discipline on, let's say, the Tusk Gorge. No, you know what? Razor Gorge chariots. Yeah, the Tusk Gorge chariots are more likely to rout because they're weaker, but the Razor Gorge chariots are more important that we actually keep them in the fight. I suppose we could actually just give that to, like, Garth so that he doesn't rout, but we probably don't want him in the fight anyway. Alrighty, here we go. Another ambush. Let's see what Garth's little temporary Plague Claw / Plague Monk army can do. Alrighty, I'm definitely concerned here. Once again, though, we do have a pretty darn good map that we're starting off on. The same map that we got when we fought with Queek last time, where we have this massive and fairly steep hill. Man, if we could have deployed all the way up here and still reached the enemy, that would be pretty obnoxious. But anyway, because Garth's army is, as we said, untested and relatively weak, I think what we want to do is play this conservatively. If we can destroy like half of this army and not take losses, I would certainly take that rather than committing our plague monks. So it's up to our ranged units. Here they go, begin that bombardment. And obviously several of our units are immediately going to target the enemy artillery. It's obviously going to be very dangerous if the enemy artillery can fire, so 4 or 5, I believe. I want to say 4 of the artillery pieces are targeting the enemy artillery, whereas the others are targeting the most high-value enemy targets, meaning the iron breakers and possibly hammers and stuff. I would target giant slayers and slayers, but the problem with them is that they have a looser formation, so they're not going to take as much damage. Alrighty, well, it looks like the artillery are taking damage, but they are lining up to take some shots. There go the flame cannons and the organ guns, and they're going to be firing on our lord. Looks like a bit of splash damage knocked back a few plague monks and killed 1. But otherwise it looks like they were going for the Grey Seer of Ruin, which is actually just fine by us. Here come more of those shots from those flame cannons, and you gotta love flame cannons. They're such a fun unit, and watching them bombard stuff is also very entertaining. I tend to build a lot of these myself when I play dwarfs. But anyway, by the looks of it, after the artillery bombardment, we were able to move in our chariots. Had to wait, of course, until the main enemy army moved away, but the chariots are going to be able to tie up the enemy here. Granted, they probably will be quite slow at killing them because they essentially have to stay engaged, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright. Good job to the chariots. And now that there are no more artillery to threaten us, we can simply continue our bombardment. And once again, we do have a lot of catapults to our names, so the enemy's gonna take quite a long time to reach us, or really do anything. Although, of course, a decent amount of them are trying to escape off the map. As we can see, once again, the Lord just books it. Doesn't even bother to try, and it looks like several of his elite units, some Slayers, the Ironbreakers are getting away, and some Hammerers as well, but they have left a decent amount behind. And honestly, if we could just take out the artillery out of all of these armies, it would already be a lot better. That's definitely a focus here. Oh, some mining charges or satchels coming in, but only hitting some summoned clan rats from the menace below, so once again, not a big concern. But yeah, as I was saying, if we could just deplete all of these armies of all of their artillery options, and at least a decent amount of their range options, none of them would be threatening to our settlements anymore. Alright, try to kill those Iron Drakes, if possible. I'm even gonna get some warp lightning coming down as well, just to annoy the enemy. Now let's see. Oh, are the flame cannons back? No, I think the crew are running off somewhere else. It's just that the banner is being shown here. It does have a tendency to do that, but it does seem like the chariots are chasing off the crew, which is just fine. Looks like the Thunderers actually got a volley on our Gray Seer there, but we're going to once again maintain distance and keep up that bombardment. Alright, well, good job to the Thunderers for at least getting a few hits in, but it won't be enough. Do you have a healing potion? Maybe we should transfer one of the healing potions to him. I was thinking that he was probably going to die along with the rest of his army, but if he manages to take out a couple armies like this, maybe not, and maybe we'd be able to give him some items. Oh, and there go the chariots, trying to hunt down those artillery crews. This is what? This is an organ gun crew. And I believe that's another crew right there as well. Get them, chariots. Actually, these ones are going to move past this and start chasing the enemy units because now the enemy army has shattered. Let's see how well the chariots do at chasing stuff down. I don't think that the artillery pieces are going to be too threatening to them. Man, you gotta love this hill that we keep ambushing enemies at. It seems like this is the map that you get in mountainous ambushes, so at least against the dwarfs, we're probably likely to see a lot of this. But not so much with, for example, Ikit, because he's outside the massive forecal, which I guess is technically in the mountains, but it feels like it probably wouldn't count as one of these particular maps. Oh, that is a lot of Plague Claws, though. This is our most Plague Claw full army. And there we go. Looks like our loss is pretty darn minimal there. Of course, we did allow several of the enemy units to escape, but once again, I think this was a pretty happy medium between the two. And the chariots can continue chasing, just out of curiosity here. What do we got in terms of damage? Not the flame cannons, the chariots. Not the plague. Damn it! Duskmore chariots, 26 kills. Very little damage, but all those kills are pretty much artillery crew or being the units that they were chasing. So reasonably happy with that. I wasn't really expecting a lot of damage out of the chariots. We just built them temporarily here anyway, just to have something. And I suppose this army will actually have to take a few field battles after these dwarfs are dead, because we're going to move it out to deal with Grom the Paunch's territories up north in the remains of Bretonnia. Anyway, let's also speed this up while we're at it. In the remains of Bretonnia, because I really don't want Ikit to waste his turn going all the way up there and just to deal with the relatively destroyed faction. Anyway, well done to Garth, surprisingly. Let's see about the damage, and let's see what the enemy has left. Alrighty, well done to Garth. I think we had to play that a little bit more carefully because, well, once again, his army is temporary, untested, and the Plague Monks are rather weak in melee against the stuff that the enemy has brought, but once again, the Plague Claw catapults just showed up. They may not be the best artillery, but certainly against slow-moving armies like dwarfs and undead, they're pretty darn great. We are going to, I guess, continue healing up. For a while, it'll only be healing for every single army. And this army does survive, but it is going to move towards Blackstone Post, which, was one turn away until the back tunnels were up and running. And oh, we're suffering attrition now. Well, judging by the fact that we didn't get all that hurt there, we could probably start whittling down these armies as well, but I feel like I want to continue swapping to different armies so that we have variety in the types of battles that we have, though most of them will continue being ambushes for a while. I guess we're gonna... Oh, we already gave you a try, didn't we, Cyprus? Alrighty, who else can we do? Well, I guess it's time for Ikit to try something. It feels like it's been too long without watching an Ikit fight. Ikit, you don't care about ambush, so you could just attack, and we'll see. And, oh, of course, okay, and of course Ikit actually gets the ambush. I kind of find that funny, but that's fine. Now, we are facing off against an Arachnarok and a Giant here. Fortunately, Ikit does have the Rattling Guns to take care of them. I just want to point out that other armies like Metabol and stuff, it's actually good that they're facing off against dwarfs, because if they had been facing off against armies with the Ragnaroks and Giants, we would not have been able to commit ourselves to those ambushes, because they would have failed, or they would have taken so much effort to bring Ragnaroks and Giants down. And several of those armies, like that Garth army with the Plague Monks and the Plague Claws, how exactly would they have brought down a Ragnarok and a Giant? There probably wouldn't have been anyway, especially the Giant, but especially the Arachnarok because of the armor, and yeah. But obviously here, that's not such a big concern, which is one of the reasons why we put Ikit against orcs rather than dwarves. It's a little bit odd to see, to say that the orc armies are more concerning than the dwarf armies are, but it's not really the case so much as the fact that the orc armies are more concerning against some armies than dwarf armies are more concerning against others. Plus the AI is just bad with the slow-moving armies in general. But anyway, decisive victory, casualties low. I'm not surprised by that, because it's Ikit. Let's see what he can do. Alrighty, here we go, taking all bets. How many losses will Ikit's armies suffer? Now, we've deployed in a sort of little bit of a corner formation, I suppose. We are going to attack sort of the back line of the enemy rather than the infantry. Because the infantry are slow, they will take considerably longer to filter in. I'm hoping to kill the monstrous units and the artillery and the cavalry and prevent them from moving, and then we can deal with the infantry afterwards. We've essentially evenly deployed all of the Jezzails and the Rattling Guns and the Warp Fire Throwers, though all of the artillery pieces are up on top of this hill together with the avalanche mortars so that they can benefit from the aura of the engineer as well as ballistics calibration. The other engineer is back here, but I hope that we don't need to use either of them for anything other than their calibration. Anyway, this battle I imagine is going to go quick, so let's see. Here come the first volleys. And the Rattling Guns are going to start focusing down the enemy artillery, that is the single unit of Doom Divers, as well as the Trolls and the Squigs there. And they're all dead already. Oh, here comes some Goblin Wolf Riders moving right into some Rattling Guns and then not moving anymore immediately after that. This army is just horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. Oh, there's a giant in there who is now gonna start taking hits. Oh, all 4 shots or 2 shots, whatever. Several shots from the warp lightning cannon hitting the giant at the same time as those rattling guns. The Ragnarok also starting to take damage, but not actually being focused. This seems like this is just extra shots that are missing the giant and hitting the Ragnarok. We did have to move Ikit, however, to counteract some of the enemy boar boys that were moving in. Though the rest will be hit by warp fire. And we did use a Crack's Call to get in their way a little bit as well. And let's see about that Ragnarok. Okay, let's not see about that Ragnarok because it's already dead. Giant is escaping as well, though probably not for long either. It's almost like this little copse of trees here around the road was the point of ambush because everything out there died. Well then, plus the cab that tried to reach our ranged line here. Now the enemy lord moves in. He was on top of a spider or a squig. I want to say squig, yeah. On top of a squig, and he's just trying to outrun all those rattling gunshots. This does not seem like a healthy place to be. And he's running away while all his minions die around him. Oh, Ikit. It's just I just get so much pleasure from watching this army work. It's pretty glorious. I'm not actually sure that the rattling guns are trying to specifically focus down the enemy lord. They were just hitting him because he was moving in. Oh, and there's Giselle shots coming in as well. How's he doing, by the way? He's still getting out of here. 404 HP. Man. And maybe he'll be able to get out. Now he's moving through the orcs, and it's almost like the rain of death is following the lord there as he tries to run through his infantry lines. Can't even see what's going on there, and I'm not actually sure. No, he's dead now. He ran into that, and there we go. The infantry isn't even going to bother to try to move in. They saw that their fast movers and their lord could not reach our battle lines, so what chance did the boys have? Absolutely disgusting. I mean, like I say that every single time we see Ikit's army fight, especially in ambush, though it's pretty disgusting in non-ambush as well. Especially if we have a hill to defend from as we have in the past. And there we go, as the enemy tries to get away, the artillery are now the only things in range, well, together with the Giselles there. And it looks like not many of the enemy is going to survive. And I so enjoy watching this army work that I don't like to speed up after the battle is over. Oh, the warp fire throwers look quite nice in this grassy field, though it still feels really quite bizarre that nothing gets actually set on fire by any of these effects. Well, there we go. I do believe that's pretty much the last of the remaining units. Oh, there's one Savage Orc Error Boy unit remaining. Or there was, anyway. And I love the fact that the warp fire throwers are just fast enough to be able to chase down standard infantry at 46, and that was debuffed slightly, so they're quite quick. They wouldn't be able to catch an ogre unit, but other stuff they certainly can. And obviously, decisive victory. Let's see if we took any damage. Alrighty, that was about as expected, though I sincerely doubt that for Ikit's army, it would have really mattered whether it was an ambush or wasn't, because this army is disgusting. As long as it has ammunition, as somebody in the comments pointed out, as long as it has ammunition, then it's disgusting. Once it has no ammunition, it's a lot more problematic, but the thing is, unless you're stuck in a bad situation, if you were to run out of ammunition with this, you could probably just retreat off the map, then force the enemy to attack you again, and with full ammunition again, while you can retreat at full HP as well. Anyway, I was gonna heal up here, but I guess we don't need to because it gives us nothing. Neither does, I guess, sell off. We might as well keep getting the food. We're getting so much food from taking out these armies, 20 food a pop, that we actually might hit plentiful food again. Swell. Swell. Alrighty, well done, Ikit, but there's plenty more armies for you to take care of, though I guess you'll have to wait until you move again. Huh. Why did these other armies move? That's weird. Maybe because they were like quote-unquote reinforcements. Anyway, we gotta we'll get some warp fuel out of that. Odd that those armies moved. I kind of don't like that. I don't want them moving around because Ikit has limited movement space, and I'd like for him to kill all of these before they all just move out in places. But anyway, let's see where else we can go. Also, the episodes for this turn, for turn 78, where we are trying to kill as many of these armies as possible before ending the turn here, they're probably going to be pretty weird and eclectic in terms of the episode length, because video editing takes quite a while the more battles there are, and I never know what exactly the video length is going to be, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to comment over a particular battle. So yeah, if anybody's wondering. Now, where do we go next? I mean, let's do a little bit of admin. Wait, can we even do admin right now? The problem is we may need money to get additional troops. I suppose we could check if there's anywhere that needs another wall upgrade, like you, Karok Drawn. Though I expect that these guys will jump over to you, but you never know. Maybe, maybe not. Let's get the wood there, and we could also start building up another army at Black Crag, but to be honest, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, and we have 3 defending, which I'm reasonably confident in, as long as they don't get themselves into stupid situations. We should hopefully be okay. Anyway, let's just check where else we might be needing walls. Anything on the borders and newly conquered territories? I guess we no longer need a clan pit here, since we're not going to be building an army, since we're going to be sending down Scalpite to take the Deadhead monoliths for us. Antok, you're good. Kasabar, I actually would love for you to have walls, but we gotta wait 2 more turns, and I fear these armies will be here before then, and we can't reach them either. Yeah, it looks like the Ironbrow's Expedition Dwarfs are probably going to be the strongest ones, because they have a full stack here with Thorek, as well as I think there was another stack nearby, plus all of these. Plus we can't go after them because of the Wood Elves, though hopefully these guys are drawn in to fight the Wood Elves as well. That would be just swell. If only there was a way to force them or to bait them into doing it. Anyway, I don't see any walls needing to be built there. I'm kind of tempted to try to build a temporary army at the Fortress of Vorag, but it might also not be all that helpful. And oh, I just realized the Crooked Moon isn't actually fighting with the Knights of Caledor. At least they're fighting Karak Azul and Karak Azorn. Well, Azul doesn't really matter, but Azorn is near their borders. They're fighting Grimgor, so if he goes south at least a little bit, maybe. I can't believe they're not fighting Crooked Moon. That really hurts. It would have been great. You know what I should have probably done? No, I was thinking maybe we could have pieced out with the Crooked Moon back when they were willing, if they were also willing to fight the Knights of Caledor, but they might have not accepted that. In fact, I think I tried it at some point and they weren't willing. Anyway, where else can we attack? Well, I guess we try with you or with you again. The 2 armies that haven't actually fought. I like to give them a try. And, yes, an ambush, there we go. After that battle, the ambush army seed reset, though we are now losing out on movement points here. We can still give this a try. Now, we do have much more limited catapults in this particular army, but hopefully the Giselles can take care of the enemy cannons before the enemy can do anything. Alright, here we go. 1 more ambush. It's gonna be ambush o'clock for the next, I'm gonna say 2-ish episodes at least. We're starting to make our way through these armies, but we definitely won't be able to kill all of the major factions this way, so Clan Angrand is definitely gonna still be alive when we end the turn, and obviously we can't reach Karazakarak, so those 2 dwarven factions will be alive, but I'd like to at least take out Ziflin, Norn, and Hearn. Oh, these guys, right here. And whatever Ikit can do to Grom. Anyway, first battle for Cyprus. He doesn't even have items, because I was thinking, since he's not immortal, and I don't trust him not to die, we don't want to give him too many items, so let's see what he can do. Alrighty, well, Ikit's fight was probably the easiest of these ambushes that we're going to have, but this one with Cyprus is probably going to be the toughest by virtue of the fact that, well, this army is kind of garbage and has way too many clan rats in it. Now, on the bright side, we don't just have Plague Claw catapults, but we also have Warplock Jezzails here. Unfortunately, the enemy artillery is actually just slightly behind this hill, or at least behind the hill enough so that the Jezzails can't actually target these guys. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe if I had deployed the Jezzails a little bit further uphill, they would have been able to fire down on them. I didn't expect that they wouldn't be able to, mostly because the Jezzails do have a slight arc to their firing, so they don't have to have a perfectly lined up shot there. But now I guess they're going to focus down this gyro bomber, who is probably going to die very quickly. It doesn't have a lot of HP after all, and the shield breaker is probably going to, well, do something, I'm sure. But anyway, let's see. Jezzails, 2 of them I believe are focusing the gyro bomber, and down it goes. Who needs Howling Warp Gale when you've got Gyro Bombers? Ooh, and I saw the organ gun firing, or at least trying to fire at Cyprus there, though the artillery is now still being bombarded by our own artillery, though the Jezzails are focusing on other stuff. Gonna get some Warp Lightning, I believe, on top of the enemy Rangers here, who are blobbed up and trying to hit Cyprus, who is running around in the background, since he does have a Warp Flayer, Doom Flayer? He does have a Doom Flayer. I still make that mistake every episode, damn it. He's going to move in and try to help out killing the artillery, because it is taking quite a while, and oh wow, look at everybody trying to focus him down. Unfortunately, over on this side, it does seem that still a fairly decent amount of enemies are trying to make their escape. We are going to switch our Jezzails, however, to try to kill a few more of the enemy infantry, especially the ones that are trying to escape, and not the missile infantry that are back here, because it doesn't look like we care so much about them anymore. One Jezzail unit should be able to take them down. Some Iron Breakers are trying to move in. I'm not entirely sure where they're going, maybe towards the Jezzails or something else, but between a Jezzail unit and a Poison Wind Globadier unit, they're gonna be dead quite quickly like this. We do have a fight going on over here, though. We've sent in our Skaven Slave Spears to defend against some Giant Slayers and regular Slayers, while we support them slightly with our Gutter Runner Slingers. And of course the Gutter Runner Slingers will be doing damage to them, but I do imagine that the Skaven Slave Spears will break shortly, and we will actually have to commit some of our regular clan rats to the battle. On the bright side, it looks like the enemy army has been probably about halved, with all of their artillery and ranged units pretty much destroyed, and 2 uses of the Menace below have made sure that those cannons that were sort of able to fire can fire no longer. That unit of Iron Breakers is also pretty much broken, and in terms of what remains to be fought, it looks like it's pretty much just the Slayers back here. And the other units are certainly still taking damage from Slingers and Artillery, but it doesn't look like they actually want to fight this. Which I guess does make sense. It would take them quite a while to get to us, and by the time they did, the artillery would have probably killed most of them. Oh, it looks like the Skaven Slave Spears have finally broken, and we're going to have to move Clan Rats in instead. Probably going to have to help the Clan Rats as well, even at half HP or a third HP or whatever, the Giant Slayers and Slayers, we shouldn't have too much trouble killing a couple of units of Clan Rats. Unit of Longbeards is moving up from the background rather than trying to run away, and is trying to reinforce those Slayers, but is now taking artillery shots as well as poison wind shots and the Jezzails, so I doubt that they're going to reach the main line. In the background, looks like all of these units are dead and are now being chased off, and we can simply commit Cyprus elsewhere, though it looks like as soon as the enemy lord moves off the field, the rest of his army routs. Lovely. Okay, well, that's another successful ambush, though it looks like the Clan Rats will be taking some damage for a while yet. I guess we can watch the Slayers fight some Clan Rats for a little bit. And here we go, help them out, get that Clan Skryre Clanstone down, some Poison Wind Globadiers, and here comes the Warp Lightning with the enemy debuffed by the clan stone, and with that, these slayers are very, very much nearly dead. There we go, a couple more volleys from those poison winds, though I'm sure that they will kill just as many of our clan rats as they will enemy slayers. It should be just about enough. Oh, we probably don't need that. Artillery, I mean. Gonna move the clan rats out and allow the Skaven slaves to take the brunt of the friendly fire damage instead. Just a couple more slayers moving into that poison wind fog to try to meet their doom. And down they go. Beautiful. Well done to the poison winds. It looks like they probably did a fairly decent amount of damage here. 7.4k, probably nothing compared to the Jezzails or the artillery. Actually, fairly close to the artillery if nothing else, but the Jezzails, damn. 127 kills and 14k damage. 178 kills and 12k damage. I think these guys were the ones that were focusing those iron breakers. Very, very nice. Alrighty. With that, I think we can speed this up. We don't need to watch the chase as we've watched it many a times. Hopefully our clan rats that were running after the artillery crews and what remained of the enemy range units did successfully kill a decent amount of them. Let's see the damage to us, though, because there was actually some damage to us here by virtue of the clan rats and the Skaven slave spears having to fight. And let's see how much of the enemy army remains viable. Alright, not bad, or at least not horrible, and we can heal to full regardless. We lost about a quarter of our, well, at least a quarter of our models, but that's the Skaven slave spears and the clan rats. The units where we didn't want to lose units didn't really die, and on top of that have a much lower unit count, so it's deceptive, I should say. Still, we did well enough. Cyprus got a little bit hurt, we can't heal him, so do have to be careful with him if we are able to do that again, but at least it worked out. Let's eat those captives. And that army will survive, but is now no longer viable. 2 more to go here. We'll see if we can manage that. Okay, I wonder how many levels he gained. Just 2. Would have been nice to gain more from that, and just enough to get that brass orb up and running. What do you have again, Weapon Master? Yeah, this guy was a temporary army, but now he's doing work. Too bad he does Weapon Master, which is kind of useless for Warlock Engineers, though I guess on a Doom Wheel he'll be occasionally charging into melee. Anyway, with that, we are once again out of time, so I am going to have to call this episode here. Don't really need to go over what's going to happen next episode, because it'll be more ambushes and whittling stuff down. And now that we got two armies with Hearn, Zorn, and Ziflin, I'm a lot more... or a lot less concerned, but a lot happier with the situation, because one army... and in a settlement, even if all the ambushes afterwards fail, one army in a settlement should be enough to deal with all of those guys. We still have a lot to do here, and I'm hoping that Mutant could get at least 1 or 2 ambushes going before his movement points run out, and we have to sit in Xerixil and hope that we can defeat these guys, but it's going reasonably well. That said, it's only going reasonably well for now, until we end the turn and this nonsense starts moving. There's just a massive blob in the mountains here, and I'm not entirely sure how we'll be dealing with them. We'll probably have to keep Throt here just to occasionally try to ambush enemy armies as we move back. And Crackadrak will probably just send Charge Lock to clear it out. Shouldn't be too much problem there, as there's only 3 armies. They'll probably be taking a bunch of our poor allies' settlements here, but we can always give them back to them. It's not like we really care about these territories after all. Anyway, stay tuned for more rats and more ambushes. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.